And we'll see here, from right to left, we have Penn State, Temple, Wisconsin, Monmouth, West Point, Delaware. And coxswain's just adjusting.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Joe, if you don't mind telling me here, what does it feel like to be an athlete sitting in one of these eights at the starting line? You know you are at the very beginning of what is surely to be an exciting grand final. This is for a cup, so everything on the line here, you know exactly what you are about to go through racing down this 2,000-meter course. What is going through your head?
You know, it's kind of a feeling that folks have told me really never goes away, but you get those butterflies in your stomach as you're sitting here, and that begins to go away as soon as you square your blade, depending for how long they make you sit there with your blade square. Generally, when I was rowing, we were always taught that not to do what these rowers are doing, although with the stake boat it's a little bit different, but you want to be squared up. I think, you know, these starters, we're not doing a quick start, so they will give them time to get their blades squared and into the water. But as soon as, when you're sitting there, you're waiting for your coxswain to do their work, you're looking over, sizing up the other athletes, thinking to yourself, well, I'm better than them. I can beat them. And then you get your blade squared, and that all falls to the wayside. Your head gets locked in on the rower in front of you, the oars on your side in front of you, and you're just trying to make sure you can put as much power behind that oar. It really, in a split second, as we see our rowers are now squared up, all boats sitting ready.
Yeah, and you want that stroke seat to be watching the official here with the flag. You don't necessarily want to wait for exactly when they say go, but you wait for the twitch of that arm. All you need is a subtle, tiny little movement of that flag where it starts to twitch just a little bit for that flag to drop so you can blast off the starting line. And again, as we get our picture back here, we will see that we will go through those starting fractions that you so eloquently told us about previously, where we actually try to get the boat up to speed rather than just push water with full strokes. We actually just pry the boat and pick up the speed little by little in a way that is a little bit more finesse, almost at 70 to 80% pressure rather than full. And we see it here now. We look away, we blink, and we've missed the start. So here we go, about a couple hundred meters in. What are we looking at here, Joe?
Yeah, so definitely seems as though the boat from Wisconsin now pushing out into the lead as expected. This boat from Wisconsin with the fastest time in their time trial, and then with a dominant performance in the semifinal, winning by 35 seconds. So Wisconsin, the obvious favorite here. One of the notes we received from the team from Wisconsin is that all of the members of the Wisconsin team here this weekend are lightweight rowers. So a lightweight freshman 8 here for this Wisconsin team out of lane 3, looking to win the Sarah Vaughn Trophy for the women's freshman novice 8.
They will absolutely be vying for it. This is a great event for them to get ready to go out to IRAs. This is an IRA crew, so these lightweight women will race other formidable opponents like Stanford and Boston University and Georgetown at the IRAs again in a battle for the cup at the IRAs again. So very great that they get to come out here and be at another large regatta and just shake things out a little bit, maybe secure a little bit more confidence again against open weight women before they go out to the IRAs. And if there's anything the lightweight women can do, it is be sharp. And that is exactly what we're seeing here in that Wisconsin boat, as well as some of the others as we get down here in the water with the launch cam.
Yeah, and Wisconsin continuing to press that open lead, and you have to think that for a lightweight freshman boat, a lot of these young ladies were likely recruited to a program like Wisconsin, which does recruit heavily out here on the East Coast, in the Midwest. So Wisconsin, a pretty well-known program throughout the rowing community, and these lightweight girls are showing us why. You can see there Monmouth out in lane 4, currently in second place. And again, the race for bronze is a pretty good one at the moment. Looks like lane 6 there, Delaware, with the edge over lane 2, Temple. West Point just a little bit back of those two boats, and then Penn State slightly back of them. So Wisconsin now with open water on Monmouth. And now Monmouth, after kind of trailing Wisconsin there, maybe trying to stay a little bit tighter there with them, expended a little bit too much energy. We'll see if the rest of the boats can try and track down Monmouth over the rest of this race as we approach 1,000 meters in for our leaders.
Exactly, and right now we are seeing Wisconsin just rowing off of our screen here, trying to keep up with their blistering pace. You can see their coxswain leaning in. She's clearly passionate, she's excited, she's feeling it. She's telling her crew we're in the lead. We just need to stay long and loose here. If we can maintain this pace, we will win the cup. So I'm sure she will be keeping her rowers' heads in the game here. Now, one crew that I want to point out that I'm just a little bit excited about, just a side note here, are the West Point women. I think that is such a cool thing to have Army women out here in this 8. Let's not overlook the kind of the novelty factor. Again, very exciting to see them out here doing so well. It seems like West Point has been building their program and just doing such a great job of it on the men's and the women's side. It's lovely to see those gorgeous chevrons flashing, not really in the sun anymore. We have intermittent sun cloud cover coming over. It makes it very nice for these coxswains trying to steer straight down the course. And speaking of steering here, Joe, what are we seeing next to Wisconsin? A little bit of movement here on this steering from Monmouth.
Yeah, so Monmouth definitely kind of drifting over to that port side just a little bit here. It looks like the hope is that they can straighten out. Now, the interesting thing about this course is that it is slightly diagonal, so that point slightly pointed to port may not be the worst thing in the world. The real question for Monmouth right now is, can they hold off this surge from Delaware on the outside? Looks like Delaware has really separated themselves from Temple and West Point solely into third place, trying to get that connection back with the Monmouth crew as we approach 750 left to go now. You can see the orange buoys in the distance, signifying 500 meters left in the race. And a trail shot here of our boat from West Point tells us that Delaware still has a good amount of work to do. Here's our leaders from Wisconsin as they pass the 500 meter mark and head into the final stretch of this race. And really just without a huge mistake can pencil their names in as the winners of the Sarah Vaughan Trophy.
One of them said to go back in the end.
That is right. And it looks like this coxswain has done a great job. Again, just keeping her crew in it. I'm going to see if I can give you a stroke rating here on this Wisconsin 8. Very interesting there. They have a starboard rig. So very cool to see that. 36, 37, so nothing out of the ordinary for lightweights, that is for sure. Lightweights have a tendency to row a bit higher because they can. Not only are they gritty, but they can actually get the rate up and get moving, little hummingbirds all the way down the course. It's always exciting and fun to see a lightweight crew, especially get out here and challenge the open weights absolutely fearlessly like the Badgers are doing right now.
And just about, there it is, the red buoys, 250 meters left to go now for our leaders from Wisconsin. And you see that it appears as though Monmouth has been able to withhold, or withstand rather, that surge from Delaware. Delaware now, after a really strong move there in that third 500, to put themselves into position for bronze, going to try and hold off West Point and Temple as we get a nice shot here of our leaders from Wisconsin rowing perfectly in time with one another. Short strokes here for the sprint. Just you can see barely getting those hands now over their foot stretchers. Not a full stroke, much more of a three-quarter stroke here into the sprint. Final few strokes, and the winners of the Sarah Vaughan Trophy, the freshman girls, the women's freshman novice 8, is Wisconsin. For silver, we should see Monmouth cross in just a few moments. Coming out of lane 4 here, Monmouth crossing for the silver medal. And now, depending on what happened there over those last 250 meters, we will see the Blue Hens from Delaware claiming the bronze here In the women's freshman novice 8, West Point takes 4th. Great showing from them.
That's right. And make sure, again, we always want to reiterate that what we say up here and what we see is unofficial. Again, we do our best to offer our humble musings about rowing and the times that we see here reflected in the finish line. So please go to regattatiming.com for all of the official results that will be populating as we speak here. So please make sure that you do refer to that, as well as the merch tent. Make sure you get all of your swag here. Watching these exciting races, you want to make sure that you are part of the action for this very exciting event. Again, the 85th Vail Regatta. And as I speak.